Fox Sports.
We are Blackmore. We are Arizona.
Saturday in the great state of Arizona, a very warm Saturday. Glad to have you back with us, and let's hoping these Diamondbacks can warm things up. Losers of 4 consecutive games here at home and tonight. They go toe-to-toe with a team that is red hot, the Atlanta Braves. Arizona at 500, 7-7. The Braves 9-5 to start the season. Hi, folks. We start with good news. This is Mark Grace. My name is Darren Sutton, or at least we hope that it's good news. Justin Upton is back in the starting lineup tonight. Very good news for Upton. He's been battling for about a week and a half that thumb. There was the thought that he might go on the disabled list in the next few days. Instead, he's in the lineup.
Yeah, that is good news. Now you've got your number 3 hitter back. Now you hope he's the number 3 hitter he was. You know that thumb is still bothering him, or he would have never missed any of these games. But it's just nice to have his presence in the lineup, a lineup that desperately needs a shot in the arm, Darren.
Well, you said it, talking about needing a shot in the arm. Hitters 1 through 5 have been fighting themselves, trying to be more than they actually are without Upton and without Chris Young. They've really been struggling the last couple of nights.
Yeah, you can see certainly that the Atlanta Braves and the Pittsburgh Pirates 2 games prior, they have really come in and throttled the offense for the Arizona Diamondbacks. I think some guys are pressing. I think some guys just are cold right now. So they've got to find a way to get some confidence. And I think last night, I know it's a silly thing to maybe say, but just scoring that 1 scratch run in the last inning may just carry over and say, you know what, we can score some runs. They need to.
And before we go to break, a quick piece of news. Daniel Hudson has been placed on the disabled list. Shoulder problems. Hopefully we will find out soon who will take his spot in the rotation on Monday. When we come back, a look at a man who has a very unique approach. Stands 6'5", yet has those quick hands right through the zone. He's been driving it all over the ballpark. How do you stop Freddie Freeman? Gracie and I will talk about it.
Backs Baseball is brought to you in part by Gila River. Gila River Casino, proud partner of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Back at the ball yard, the Braves and the Diamondbacks in a conversation quickly about a guy who stands 6 feet 5 inches tall, so he should have a long swing in Freddie Freeman, yet driving the ball all over the ballpark with one of the quicker swings you'll see through the zone.
Yeah, not a guy that really sits back and uses that leverage that that 6'5" body can give you, but man, I'll tell you what, this kid is some kind of quick through that strike zone, though. Remember an old batting champion back in the 70s, Darren, named Bill Madlock?
Certainly.
He reminds me of a left-handed version of Bill Madlock. I mean, that bat, look how quick that bat gets from point A to point B, and just ask any Diamondback pitcher that's faced him in this series. They know just how quick that bat is. He has done big damage to the Diamondbacks in 2 games.
So the left-hander has the responsibility tonight. Is it hard in? Is it soft away? We'll find out. Joe Saunders will be on the mound going toe-to-toe with the right-hander, the big fella, Tommy Hanson. One of the youngest starting rotations in the game, that with Atlanta. Saunders will try to squelch them. $4.99 plus tax. AT. In the box. Right now, Jack in the Box, you can try the new Chipotle Chicken Club Combo. It's only $4.99 plus tax. AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. Joe Saunders ready to roll for his 3rd start of the year. This in the year 2012. He was great against Pittsburgh. He was great against San Diego. He hopes to do the same thing here at home. The batting order he will deal with. It's been a red-hot Braves lineup with Bourne at the top. Prado, then Freeman. Brian McCann has Dan Uggla behind him. Future Hall of Famer Chipper Jones, the switch hitter. Jason Hayward. Jack Wilson, the veteran, gets the start at short today, and Tommy Hanson is on the mound. Freddie Gonzalez, the skipper of these Atlanta Braves, is loving this ballpark. He was bragging about how well you can see the baseball here at Chase Field. Said his hitters love it. As we take a look at the man who deals with those hitters and who deals with this ballpark, the numbers presented by our Arizona Ford dealers, and 2 starts this year. Why has he been so good?
No, in a word, he has been fabulous, and I think he's using his fastball in a lot more to his advantage to the right-handed hitters this year, keeping those guys from leaning out and trying to hit that fastball away, and I think it's been such a big pitch for him, and that makes his changeup even better, but he has just been so good in his 2 starts. However, Darren, a little more offensive firepower in the Braves than his 2 previous starts, and that would be the Pirates and the Padres.
He's got some defense out there in right field in Justin Upton, which puts Gerardo Parra now in center field and Jason Kubel in left. Let's hope it all goes well for Upton. I think this is a bit of a leap of faith tonight for him. and hoping that that thumb cooperates. First pitch, fastball is high, and we're underway. 1-0 the count to Bourne. Glad to have you with us here at Chase Field. Of course, respecting the bunt ability of Bourne, and there he goes. He takes it with him. Saunders with a dive, tries to get it there, not in time. We saw Joe 2 or 3 times last year defensively leave his feet to make plays like that. Just couldn't get in throwing position.
He got in a bit of a hurry. He makes a great play first and foremost by diving and making the stop. Now, if he could just get to his feet, he may have gotten it over there quick enough to get it, but instead, Michael Bourne, who just can fly, gets there just ahead of the ball, and the Braves come out smoking. But boy, what an effort from Saunders.
And a nice call there at first base by Sam Holbrook, right on top of it. Believe it or not, that was the first bunt hit by the Braves this year. With that man at the top of the order, you think they'd have more. 1-0 the count to Martin Prado.
Saunders has a very good pickoff move. Now all of a sudden, well, the last thing we need is another pitcher with an injury.
Joe West said, I don't know what's going on. Alan Trammell said, I don't know. I think Miguel Montero will fill him in. Something the two wanted to talk about, but they didn't really get together.
Joe was kind of kicking at his ankle or his foot, like maybe he caught a spike or something.
Pitch is high, and that one misses up. 255, an on base of 328 for Prado this year. A couple of hits in the series. He's driven in 3. And he's scored 4 times as well. It's been a nice series for the veteran Prado. In on the hands. He has, as you said, been coming in with much more effect this year. You mentioned it a moment ago.
And he beat him with that fastball and good pitch.
Prado came up an infielder. As a matter of fact, has played more in the infield, and it's not even close, than he has in the position when he moves to the outfield for Jones to play third and Pasternicky or Wilson to play short. A lot of room in left center field, as you can see. That alley is wide open. 2-1 the count. Braves have seen a lot of southpaws. I mean, they're 15 games in. This is the 8th left-handed starter they've seen. Seems like a lot. 2 weeks in.
Certainly no surprises for these Braves. Then they've seen a bunch of them. But yeah, I didn't know there was that many lefties in the league.
I mean, more than half of the starters they have dealt with. Very concerned, does a very good job keeping runners close. In his career, Saunders, 41% of those that try to steal when Joe is on the mound have been thrown out. 41%. League average about 28. He's got a good pickoff move. He's good for a half dozen or so pickoffs a year. Two and one the count. Hot shot into right center field. It's down. Parra quickly on it. Bourne knows better. He stops right there. Runners on first and second. And even if Parra didn't have a good arm, the ball was hit too hard.
First baseman number 5, Freddie Freeman.
It was hit so hard that the speedy Michael Bourne couldn't get to third base. One thing about Joe Saunders that we know, Darren, is he does get a lot of double play balls. He's going to need one here off the bat of one red hot Freddie Freeman.
Boy, he is really lighting it up. As a matter of fact, it's not just this series, it's his last 4 games. Playing him to pull on the infield. Outfield deep. They run it in. So we'll watch how they attack him.
Yeah, tied him up nicely with that one.
Diamondbacks defensively. Kubel, Parra, Upton, outfield. Ground ball pitcher when he's right, so Roberts, Bloomquist, Hill, and Goldschmidt will be important. Miguel Montero catches. And, of course, to have that man back out there, we don't know how healthy he is, but he's healthy enough to play. So in his last 4 games, Freeman, 10 of 17. 12 runs batted in 4 games, and 8 of the 10 hits have been extra base hits.
Most of that damage against the Diamondbacks.
Golly. I mean, 12 RBIs in 4 games.
Right back in there he goes and ties him up again. 0-2. Good pitch.
So for me, the risk is with the hitter that's hot, you better get it in, because he showed on a pitch on the inner half last night, he hit it out to left. But they're getting it in.
And you have to.
He likes it in. You can tell, though, he's offered it a couple of pitches that probably could have been called balls.
Well, he may just be able to get that slider away now. He's got him maybe thinking, I got to be quick inside. Let's see if a slider away might be able to put him away. Right back in. Not a bad spot, though, down and in.
Peeking in from the pool. We were there a couple of nights ago.
Got him. Stayed in. Just bullied him inside the whole time. Joe Saunders, just a big bully against a guy that's been
catcher number 16, Brian
just
McKay.
Fantastic. Just nothing but in. You can see, at least against Joe Saunders, Freddie Freeman not comfortable with those fastballs in.
It's going to be fun to watch this matchup tonight. I mean, a lot of fun. As hot as Freeman is, and Joe hit his spots. Here's McCann. Right down Broadway, 0-1 the count. Hangs in there just fine throughout his career. Hard ground ball could be 2. Instead, they hope to get 1. They don't get any.
Well, I don't know what happened with Aaron Hill there. That was a double play ball all the way. I think he may have forgot that Brian McCann was running. I mean, this is a nice little 3-hopper, a perfect double play ball. He missed it, and then well, he couldn't find it, I guess, and then panicked a little bit. Still had plenty of time to get McCann at first base, but then he just couldn't find the baseball. Boy, that is a big play right there, a big error. The big error led to a lot of runs last night by Aaron Hill.
Joe had not rolled up a double play yet this year. Still hasn't. Remember, he rolled up 28 twin killings a season ago. Bases loaded for Uggla. Just off the plate, 1-0 the count.
And it's easy to understand why he hadn't had any double play balls this year up until that opportunity. Hadn't been a whole lot of guys on base against him. When he finds himself now, instead of out of the inning, he is in a big mess.
Right back to the screen. A changeup that stayed up. 1-1 the count.
Well, it sure did stay up. And Uggla, a guy that can hit those a long, long ways. Joe Saunders got away with one. And when you're struggling to hit the baseball, boy, you have to clean up everything else. You've got to play better defensively. You got to run the bases better. Good fastball in. That one froze Dan Uggla. Don't you agree, Darren? You've got the other parts of the game that you can control. The base running, the defense.
It's all those
things. The offense
things.
is going to come and go. Those things should be a constant.
Well, and those things can clean up an offense that is struggling, at least keep it a game. Over the top of a running fastball. He goes down on strikes. That one had a little life to it.
Yeah, that one, they were trying to come in again. Watch where Montero has to reach. But I think Uggla was thinking changeup after the fastball in, and he just got it blown right by him. And he takes a deep breath, and now he stares down the barrel of a gun called Chipper Jones with the bases loaded.
Chipper had a couple of hits last night, didn't play in the opener of this series. That knee doesn't function too well in cross-country flights.
Don't tell Joe Saunders that.
Fastball low to Jones, 1-0 the count. 2 for 5 last night. And this year batting right-handed, hasn't seen as much playing time as he wants. This year batting right-handed is 4 for 8. Good numbers with the sacks juiced. Change up, 2-0 the count.
Now what Joe has to do is try to get that 4th out. And that's always the most difficult one to get. Huge pitch right here on 2-0.
Outside.
Missed badly.
Hayward waits on deck. There's nowhere to put him. Jones in the driver's seat right now.
Jones, a guy still a good hitter right-handed, not near the power over his career from the right side as the left side. I would imagine he's taken all the way here. Missed badly, ball 4.
Just the mere presence of Chipper Jones drives in a run. And the Braves again heat up their offense. They have a little help from the Diamondbacks, an error and a walk with 2 outs.
And if you're Joe Saunders, you just did a great job of striking out a dangerous Dan Uggla. Then you just missed badly with 4, and that's got to be a letdown. But now you have to keep the damage at a minimum. You got to find a way to retire another very dangerous hitter, the left-handed hitting Jason Hayward. And that's a good start, strike 1. Another fastball into a left-hander, Darren.
Trying to make sure he doesn't get those long arms extended. He's in the middle of a 10-game hitting streak. Matching his career high. Red hot. In again.
Well, he's getting that fastball into the left-handers right where he wants it. If you find a way to wiggle out of this with just 1 run, you got to feel pretty good about yourself if you're Joe Saunders.
Yeah, he was singing some of the wiggle wiggle into the microphone last night. Saunders hoping he can wiggle off the hook. Got him over the outside corner, froze him away.
Struck out the side.
Saturday night at a great venue. They always enjoyed at the RamTrucks.tv pool out here. A ballpark landmark anyway in this gorgeous yard. Glad to have you with us. You may be coming in from taking a dip on a hot day like today. Settle in and we'll talk baseball all night. Willie Bloomquist, Gerardo Parra, and Justin Upton. Willie hitting .244 will tell you, I've got more strikeouts than I'm used to having. He's got 11 strikeouts and 45 at-bats to open the year. Tommy Hanson, the man on the mound, the first pitch paints the outside corner. 0-1 the count. Still just 25 years old. He's already made 80 starts in the major leagues, and he's already made 3 this season. First 2 real good. The Mets knocked him around a bit last time out. What else do we know about Tommy Hanson stuff-wise?
Tommy Hanson rocketed through the Atlanta Braves organization. He was a huge prospect, and he's come up and done very good things. Got very good stuff. A big curveball that is what I think is his out pitch. And a guy that got hit pretty hard his last start against the New York Mets, but a guy that has shutout stuff.
Oklahoma born and raised, a middle round pick out of community college in Southern California, Riverside Community College. Breaking ball into the dirt. You're talking about that start Monday against the New York Mets by Hanson. The one thing you like about an outing when a guy is not perfect is he did pitch 7 innings. You know, he did take care of his bullpen. He gave up 5 runs.
There's another strikeout for Willie Bloomquist. Fastball right down the middle.
Let's take a look at the starting lineup as penciled in by Kirk Gibson. The most important part of it's right there batting third. Justin Upton, we will watch closely with his thumb tonight. The left thumb. Paul Goldschmidt, Jason Kubel, Aaron Hill. Ryan Roberts is hoping to get it going, and Joe Saunders. That's 9. I never thought it would just take a week to say what a sight for sore eyes that is to see.
You remember we were talking about Justin in Colorado, Darren. We were trying to figure out, Justin's always been a high strikeout guy, but we're talking about all the caught lookings that he had. He a lot of strikeouts looking. Well, now we know why. His thumb hurt.
That's exactly right.
His thumb hurt to swing.
Up and in, he was trying to, for lack of better words, seek the walk.
Yes.
Help his team.
You're begging for walks. Exactly. We saw him drop bunts.
Breaking ball, base hit, right field. He picked on an old-fashioned 12-6 curveball, like he knew it was coming.
Yeah, Gerardo Parra picked out a hanging breaking ball and just rifled it into right field.
Right field.
Stays back nicely, keeps those hands back, recognizes it. Bang! Right into right.
A nice ovation welcomes Upton back into the box. Now it'll be interesting when you look at the career of Hanson. He just hasn't been good keeping runners close. In his career, when he is on the mound, only 15% of those that have tried to steal have been thrown out. Half league average. Upton, left field, ranging over his Prado. He dives, he won't get there. Upton hurrying on around. Parra's already waiting at third. Got it off the end of the bat. The crowd loves it. Justin Upton with a double.
Well, it only took him one pitch to get right back in the swing of things. And a couple of guys that came through the Diamondback minor leagues together. And you see proud of the effort there. He just misses it. Falls on top of it, fortunately for him. He doesn't get away far enough for Parra to score, but opportunity now for Miguel Montero, second and third. Just one out. Any ground ball now, any ground ball anywhere besides third base will make it a 1-1 game. Montero been swinging very, very hard lately. Let's see if Miguel's always going to swing hard. You know that.
Curveball swings hard, ground ball gobbled up. There's your run.
That's all it takes. That's all it takes to tie the ball game up. And boy, you talk about a team that needed a shot in the arm. Well, Justin Upton certainly provided that. A little breaking ball that stays up. Parra gets a good read. He easily scores. That's a brand new ball game.
It's a great shot a moment ago of Upton arriving at third, and a couple of guys that were the #1 overall picks in the nation. Now one's now 40 years old and the other is 24. But both lived their prep career and their minor league career in the public eye. Upton can only hope he's able to have the long and illustrious career that Chipper Jones did, as he's out there at third. A quick note on Upton standing out there at third. 1-0 the count on Goldschmidt. Upton's double ended a string of 14 consecutive singles hit by the Diamondbacks.
The last 14 hits were singles?
That's exactly right. Into the dirt. How far does it go? Not far enough. See how he handles a hitter's count of 2-0.
Nice little breaking ball for strike one. Well, that's another place where this era has changed. You can almost bank on a fastball 10 years ago in that situation. Even a guy like Paul Goldschmidt. Now, these pitchers are so doggone good, they can flip a breaking ball up there for a strike on 2-0.
Overthrew that one, so he missed.
Now he's back to 3-1 with another breaking ball.
We talk about the extra base hit drought. There's also a long ball drought. Does it end here tonight or in this at bat? Tuesday against Pittsburgh, John McDonald of all people, the last to homer. That's 100 Arizona plate appearances since they've homered.
That time went with the fastball, and he challenged Paul Goldschmidt. I would imagine Goldschmidt had the breaking ball in the back of his mind.
Had to. Looked like it anyway.
Yeah. Putting a pretty good sequence on him.
Good crowd in the house tonight, by the way. You can already feel the energy.
Good to see.
Folks came here to cheer. Bouncing ball, glove. Tried to take it right back through the box. The Diamondbacks manufacture a run. Justin Upton, so far so good. That makes all of us smile, doesn't it?
Oh, that doesn't make me smile.
Major leaguer, first base king, performing relief arm. I think that's debatable. Created amusement to us all.
And those blue letters, I guess, spell my name. Well, thank you very much, honey. That's nice of you. 9-3-2002.
Pop that bunt up, Jack Wilson. Be careful, Miguel, and there's no room to dive out there anyway. Well, she took a year off of your career, I guess,
well, my last game might have. Well, you know what? Yeah, my last year was 03. but thank you. That was very kind. Might be worthy of a contract.
Line drive, right field, base hit. So Jack Wilson, the longtime Pittsburgh Pirates shortstop, gets the start tonight. Tyler Pasternicki, who's been fighting his way through it a bit. Freddie Gonzalez saying before the game, it's Pasternicki that's our shortstop, but that's why we have a veteran who can give him a blow. And
slick fielder.
Yeah, absolutely. He's had a nice career.
Every once in a while, get you a base hit. Tommy Hanson, not a bad hitter in his own right. Probably up there to bunt, though. Ryan Roberts right in his grill.
Well, pretty good pitch. It's called low. 1-0 the count off speed. Here against Pittsburgh, Saunders went 7 innings last time out, gave up a single run and struck out 5. He was a 5-1 winner. It's good to be packed in Uptown, and it's good to be sitting in Uptown behind Justin Uptown. With all due respect to the other right fielders.
Very good bunt.
And Joe turns it into an out. Not a sacrifice bunt. Kia Motors, proud partnership. Love to have them on board, and they bring us the key to the game every night. End the nightmare. Just end the nightmare.
Did you have a bad dream last night? What happened? Were people throwing things at you?
No, it was just one of those situations where I just thinking of just scary things. Guys with long, like, blades for fingernails.
Oh, well, I was thinking maybe you were broadcasting the old vaudeville hook came out and just pulled you off stage. Now that's a nightmare.
If I was pitching, I'd want to have it. It's right here, the nightmare at Chase Field that has been doled out by Freddie.
Oh, Freddie Freeman.
Not Freddie Krueger,
Freddie
not
Freeman.
this time.
I see. That's good, Darren. I like that one.
End it. Because he has been a nightmare for the Diamondbacks. Bourne inside.
Oh, he went. Sure he did.
Now, truth be told, I have to make sure that we give proper credit for that key to the game.
To who?
Our good friend working down in the truck, handling the graphics, usually up here doing our stats. That's Kurt Zacker's key to the game.
Oh, nice, Kurt. That boy, Zach, man. It's just not the same without him up here.
It really isn't. 1-1 the count. Bouncing ball. Hill with another chance to play some defense and does it just fine.
And when I say he, I'm talking Joe Saunders has really done a good job with the fastball into left-handers. I mean, he just ate Bourne up with another tailing fastball right in on his thumbs. Big-time pitch.
Prado singled back in the first inning. I'm telling you, a lot of families here tonight. Fun to see. We hope to see you here tomorrow. And remember, this homestand continues. You would think it might end. It's a long one. Philadelphia Phillies coming to town. Pitches up and inside. 1-0 the count. What would you call them over the last half decade? The premier team in the National League?
The Phillies? Yeah, it'd be tough not to.
So they're visiting. It's going to be a fun series.
Did you hear Cliff Lee went on the DL today?
I did hear that.
Strained an oblique, so that's one less stud the Diamondbacks will have to look at as far as an opposing starting pitcher.
Phillies catch a break. They don't look at Daniel Hudson, who went on the DL as well on Monday. He won't pitch on Monday. So Hudson on the DL before the game today. Arizona not sure what they're going to do with that spot. We'll keep an eye down there. I know Chuck Powell is down below working on some of the answers for that.
Chuck with us tonight?
Yes, he is.
We'll good to have Chuck with us.
Curveball is high. But for now, Jonathan Albaladejo is here.
I'm sorry?
Jonathan Albaladejo is here. I mean, it could be Miley. Miley could be the starter on Monday.
Oh, good change up there on 3-1. Right at the kneecaps. Now it's full.
Jonathan spent all of last year as We see this one more time.
That's a beautiful pitch right there. Now that might set up that fastball in. Let's see what he wants.
Bouncing ball, middle of the diamond, into center field. A 2-out RBI by Prado.
He tried to come in, but unfortunately he didn't get it in as much as he wanted, and then he also falls across. He doesn't get, and he being Joe Saunders, he doesn't get in good fielding position after he releases the baseball. Watch, his back's turned to the hitter. There's no way you can make that play. And another 2-out base hit for an opponent. The Arizona Diamondbacks going into this game with 2 outs. There's that fastball into a lefty. Opponents are hitting .306 coming into this game against the Diamondbacks when 2 are out. All Diamondback starters and relievers getting that first and second out, no problem. But that third one's just been very, very difficult to get for them. And until that changes, boy, it's going to be tough sledding.
Stays into Freeman. He wanted to drive it a long way to left, unable to do it. Stayed stubborn. They had pitched Freeman in all night long. But Martin Prado just broke his back.
Welcome back to Diamondbacks baseball, 2-1 here as we move into the bottom of the second inning. My name is Chuck Powell, and Daniel Hudson has become a storyline today. The starting pitcher for the Diamondbacks has been placed on the disabled list, so thus far this season his statistics haven't been the only thing that's been painful. His arm has been painful, and so he's placed on the disabled list with what they're calling a right shoulder impingement. Right now, Kirk Gibson claims that they're likely going to promote from within the current roster, which means a long reliever is going to come up into the starting rotation. But it doesn't rule out the possibility that one of the big three down on the farm, Bauer, Corbin, or Tyler Skaggs, could be called up. So we'll see. I know a lot of people in Arizona looking to unwrap their new Christmas gifts in those 3 young pitchers. Darren, Gracie, back to you.
Good stuff. Thank you very much. And it will be interesting to see. There's Jonathan Albaladejo, who is part of the bullpen for now. You know, you look at what Chuck is just talking about and the guys and the way they are working down in the minor leagues. Christmas gifts, I think that's appropriate because they have been gifts that Gibson wants to open soon. In Bauer, Skaggs, and Corbin, I just don't know if they're days of rest when you look at all of them. He did not go around. It doesn't look like their days of rest fit in for any of them to work unless we take a peek and Trevor Bauer gets scratched tonight. That'd be the only thing that would be interesting. If Bauer gets scratched, it could be him.
Well, you see, they're all having great years down there in Mobile.
Did Kugel get it? He drives it to left. He got it! is an Arizona Diamondback. The other way, there is a lot of power the other way for this man, a Fulton Holmes homer. $150 to the Central Arizona Mountain Rescue Association, a Fulton Holmes homer.
Well, he's had over 30 in his career. He just goes out to the outside corner, drives it about 2 or 3 rows deep over the head of Martin Prado. And congratulations to Jason Kubel. All that stuff in the American League doesn't really count. First Major League home run. Congratulations, Jason Kubel.
Well, technically, folks, it's his first in the National League.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. First Major League home run.
The 0-1 is a little bit low. Pretty good pitch there by Hansen. So Kubel snaps that string we were talking about. This is the first Arizona home run since Tuesday against the Pirates.
That's good to see for Kubel. He needed that. Diamondbacks need a lot of guys to get hot.
102 plate appearances. Breaking ball is a strike. 102 without a long ball. That's got to make him feel real good. Look, singles are nice, and picking up the slack for your teammates is nice, but
homers.
No,
homers are fun.
Your general manager spent a majority of the time after he signed you. Is that curveball knocked into center field for a base hit by Aaron Hill?
Oh, how pretty was that by Aaron Hill? Staying right on a big roundhouse, as you like to call him, 12-6 curveball, Dad. He just keeps his hands back beautifully and just rips it back to box. Bang! I mean, that is nice.
The hand's the only thing that stayed back, but that's all you need when you're strong.
But in order to hit a ball that hard, your hands have to stay back, and he did.
You could see him breaking down and drifting forward, but those hands stayed back. Good shots there on the side. Ryan Roberts looks at a breaking ball for a strike. 9 for 49 in the season, a 184 clip for Roberts.
Ryan Roberts, you can just see in his body language he's been pressing. Getting really upset with themselves when things don't go well. See if Rhino can get it going again.
2 for 17 with a walk on the current homestand and hitless in his last 11 at bats.
Heck of a pitch right there to the outside corner, 0-2.
Anytime the Diamondbacks put 6 on the board, Taco Bell gives away 3 free tacos with a large drink purchase. From 4 to 6 the following day. We'll talk about those young pitchers we were speaking of a moment ago when Mike Bell joins us. Diamondbacks farm director. That's the old-fashioned name for the VP of player development. Farm director.
Farm director.
The 0-2 is outside. But Mike does a great job. Baseball family, certainly. His father, Buddy Bell, longtime baseball man.
Yeah, it's called your farm system.
Everybody's got to have bigger titles these days. And that's not Mike's doing. He'd just soon be the farm director if you know him. 1-2 the count. But we'll talk about those guys.
You refer to yourself as broadcasting God.
Yeah, that's not accurate. That one misses
I'm
up
just
and
a
away.
color analyst, folks.
2-2 the count. Yeah, it was a different year last year.
And I think he went on that one. Yes, he did. Joe West right there to make the call. I think Ryan Roberts, that's more wishful thinking than anyway. We get a good side view. Yeah, he went. Didn't get to see that earlier in the afternoon on that perfect game. By the way, congratulations to Philip Humber. To a perfect game today for the Chicago White Sox. How about that?
What a great moment on a close call at the end on a check swing.
Now we'll never know, really, if the check swing was actually a swing or not. Never got a side shot of it. See here with the Diamondbacks, I mean, that was big league side shot right there. We knew that Ryan Roberts actually went around right there. It was big league television, folks.
1-0 the count. Chipper looking for the bunt. It's back toward the mound. The only play
Nicely done there by Joe Saunders.
Runner in scoring position. The 21st perfect game in baseball history was thrown today. And this, the final moments. Brendan Ryan came off the bench to pinch hit.
Did he go?
They say he went around. Ryan didn't like it, but you know what? Too late. Wants to throw. The celebration, the home plate umpire called it on his own, and a celebration ensued. And a nice moment. The crowd in Seattle really supported history. They were 100% behind Philip Humber. He didn't walk anyone, obviously, in that perfect game. He struck out 9. Third perfect game in White Sox history, 21st in Major League Baseball. Congratulations to the young man. It's fun to watch.
Anytime something like that happens, only 21 times in the history of the game, boy, that's special. Now, I was never part of a perfect game or a no-hitter, Darren, as a player, either for or against me. I got to broadcast Randy Johnson's perfect game back against the Atlanta Braves in Turner Field.
2-0 the count.
I watched Anibal Sanchez no-hit the Diamondbacks a couple of years later in Florida.
The only one I've ever seen in person was the one we were able to call. I know you were on network assignment that weekend when Edwin Jackson threw about 150 pitches and walked 8 or 9.
Yeah, Luis Gonzalez.
That one is outside.
I think A.J. Hinch was telling us the next day that in about the third inning he had his bullpen up.
Well, he threw 150 plus pitches, was all over the map. We were kidding about him having a perfect game
through a no-no
as a fun side note. Well, at least he's got a perfect game starting in the third, or at least a no-no, I should say. Not a perfect game, a no-no. 3-1 the count to Willie Bloomquist. But that, still it's unique. Whether it's perfect like we saw today or very imperfect like Edwin's, it's still fun to see. Freddie Freeman into foul territory. He puts it away. Diamondbacks get it back. Jason Kubel. Now you can officially say, I'm a Diamondback. His first home run in the National League. Our third inning brought to you by Miller Lite. Visit local retailers and text road trip as Saunders goes back to work with a pitch that is outside. Do so to the Miller Taste team at 620-620. It's your chance to win one of 3 interdivision rival flyaway trips this summer. Director of Player Development Mike Bell joins us up here in the broadcast booth as we look ahead towards the future. And the future seems to be now, unfortunately, you want everybody to stay healthy, but Mike, that's your job to keep your guys ready to fill in when they are needed. Albaladejo comes up today, and maybe someone from your system coming up on Monday. Thanks for stopping by the way.
Thanks for having me. It's good to be up here, and we do have some options. We got a lot of good pitching in the minor leagues. Today we got Bauer throwing in Mobile, and we got Archie Bradley going in South Bend, and both of them are doing a nice job today.
Tell us about Archie Bradley. We can look at the numbers; they're fabulous. But tell us some of the things that you have seen in your scouting reports about Archie Bradley.
I think his presence on the mound is the first thing that jumps out at you. He's 18 years old, 19 years old, and he carries himself like he's in his mid-20s. He's very mature. He has a lot of confidence, and it's real confidence. I mean, his numbers are what they are. He had another good game today. Going into the game, he had 16 innings and, 6 hits, and he's more strikeouts than innings, as a lot of our guys are doing right now.
Can we talk hitters, please?
Matt Davidson.
Please, yes.
Owens.
Matt Davidson. Yes. I mean, he's doing it, isn't he?
Matty.
That one is belt to the left. Ugla puts his head down and watches it sail out of here. This is going to be a good old-fashioned slugfester. It has the feel. Hold on one sec, Mr. Bell. We didn't want to have you interrupted by Dan Ugla in his second home run of the season.
Long, high, towering home run. He picked out a changeup and just destroyed it. Went down and just killed it. It's knee high, but it's in the middle of the zone. That's a big, strong young man, and it goes a long ways. Anyway, Matt Davidson.
I saw him when they opened up in Mississippi, and he started off really well. He's got good balance going on. Every swing he takes, he's on the barrel. He fouls a couple off here and there, but he's squaring a lot of pitches up. He's doing a lot of damage. I think his OPS is over 1,000 right now, and offensively, he's the real deal.
2-0 the count to Chipper Jones. Can he seems to be a guy that seems very determined to stay a third baseman for you as well.
He's worked extremely hard, and I know Gibby and Matty spent a lot of time with him, as did Tony Perez Chica, and now Jay Bell and Turner Ward in Double-A, and he continues to work hard. He puts in the extra work with his footwork, and he's doing a good job. He got off to a little bit of a slow start defensively, but he's coming around.
Chipper Jones in the right center field. Toward the gap it goes. Upton runs it down. A good outfield play. Tell us quickly about Adam Eaton, because we see A.J. Pollock up here. We've seen so much good with Adam last year. Saw him a lot in spring. Young man out of Miami of Ohio.
Adam's a winning type player. I watch all the Reno games on MILB TV, and I feel like every time I look up, he's on base. He's either getting hit by a pitch, he finds a way to get on, whether it's an error, beating out a ground ball, and he does have enough pop in his back to hit the gaps too.
Hayward digs in. First pitch is up and away. Bauer, Skaggs, Corbin, they're all different young men. Is it fair to ask you if any of them are closer than one another, or are they so different?
That's not fair.
Understand. Stay with us for one more half?
Absolutely.
He's going to answer that question. I know it's not fair.
I will.
Mike Bell joining us, talking about the Diamondbacks of the future. Nissan. Go to Nissan now for our great offers across our full lineup. Visit ChooseNissan.com or your local dealer now. A warm day in Jerome as well as we welcome you back. Diamondbacks fans from all over the great state of Arizona and some that have come to see the Braves play as well. Mike Bell is joining us, the director of player development up here in the broadcast booth. As Gerardo Parra takes the first pitch, puts it on the ground. That's a diving play. He recovers. A fine play made by Dan Uggla. Dan Uggla, a former infielder in the Diamondback system years and years ago, like Chris Owings is. He's an up-and-coming shortstop. We have him in Visalia. Tell us a little bit about his progress.
Chris has come a long way. He had a good year, nice year last year, but there were still some things we wanted him to do. We wanted him to be able to separate the game a little bit better, offense from defense. He started the year in Visalia, he's still there. Got off to a little bit of a slow start offensively, but played very well in the field, and now he's getting hot at the plate, too. He's got 3 home runs already.
Upton takes a strike. Going back to those big three in the not fair question of what are the strengths of all that makes them closer than one another, talking about Bauer and Corbin and Skaggs.
They'll do things a little bit differently.
Trevor Bauer?
He does. I'll tell you one thing about Trevor. He prepares and he cares about winning baseball games as much as anybody does.
I don't have any problem at all with what he does. Now, do you?
I kind of, it's intriguing. It's interesting. I've learned a lot from him. I think there's something to the long toss.
There's a method to his madness.
Absolutely. Everything he does in the day is in preparation for his start every 5th day. And he's starting again today. Last I checked before I came in here, he's having another good outing. I think his ERA was down to .48 when I walked in here. He knows what he's doing. He has an idea, and he works as hard as anybody, if not harder.
Good slow curveball. Why was Kirk Gibson so fond of Pat Corbin in camp? Why did he catch Gibby's eye as much as anybody?
His maturity. He's a young guy, but it doesn't spook him. The bigger stage doesn't spook him. He comes in well to right-handers. He's a left-handed guy, and he's not afraid to come in, challenge right-handers, and get his slider in to right-handers. His changeup is good. His velo is where it needs to be, and he competes.
Velo.
Velocity.
I know. I'm making for our casual viewers. I like that, velo. That's good. You have a real. But, we used to call them farm directors when we were young. You don't get to be a farm director.
Oh, man. I
remember those days, Gracie?
I've been doing quite a bit of it here recently. We've had quite a bit of movement, but we got a lot of good people in place that are trying to put this together and make sure we can play every night in the minor leagues.
We had a farm director when I was coming up through the minor leagues with the Chicago Cubs. His name was Jim Snyder, and I love Jim Snyder to this day. But, he would come to town once in a while, and you're like, all right, everybody on their best behavior. Farm director's in town. And, so all he made us do was run. Like, he'd come to town, we'd have to get there about an hour and a half earlier than normal. And, all right, everybody start running.
Do you do that much?
What?
No.
Man, get those boys out there and run them.
Breaking ball misses outside. So you wouldn't have a problem with any of these three. There's our farm director in-house. With any of these three starting in the big leagues if it were tomorrow?
I really wouldn't.
Okay.
I think they could all come up here and compete, and we could even be missing some guys like Charles Brewer could do it, and there's a handful of minor league free agents that we signed that could do it as well. We're in pretty good shape as far as depth in the minor leagues right now.
As far as arms go.
Yes.
David Holmberg is a young man who's in Visalia that gets left off that list. He's a click behind, but he's the guy, folks, if you don't know it, he came over in that Edwin Jackson deal with Daniel Hudson. There was a big left-hander. Who is David Holmberg?
He's a young kid. Pitches beyond his years right now. He's got good command, fastball, slider, curveball, and changeup, and I think that's what sets him apart. He does command his secondary very well. His velocity has been up to 93, 94. I've seen it. He'd pitch more comfortably at 90, 91. But he's got a lot of weapons, and I think he's going to show up here one day and do just fine.
Mike Bell joining us, the Diamondbacks director of player development. This was a young man that was under his watchful eye last year, hitting homers. Paul Goldschmidt, as that one dives outside. David Hernandez has a brother in this system, right? Raymond Hernandez?
Ray, yeah.
Where's he?
He was in spring training. I think he picked up David in a game and, and did well. He is 10-3 right now, less than a full year. He knows how to pitch. A lot of pitch ability in Ray. He is in Visalia. He'll get an opportunity to start here and there. He's a guy I would feel comfortable sending him anywhere across the board in the minor leagues right now to give us innings, to give us starts, pitch out of the bullpen. He's extremely valuable. And there's no telling. You put up those kind of numbers, 10-3. We want winning type players, and that's exactly what he's doing now.
That's interesting. That's probably a good label to wear if you don't start as a top prospect, correct?
You win.
Yep, you win. He's versatile. He can do a lot of different things for us across the board.
2-2 the count to Paul Goldschmidt. Are the numbers crazy inflated in Reno? Do people make too much about that? Do you have to, when you look at the Reno numbers, do you have to consider where they're playing? Or do you just listen to what your managers tell you?
Listen to what the managers
like
say.
Brett Butler in this situation.
Brett, Rick Burleson, listen to what Alan Cockrell has to say, Jeff Pico, listen to all those guys. We had guys there with huge numbers last year, and many of them came up here and did some good things here too. So yeah, the numbers could be inflated a little bit, but when you get a hitter coming from there, I think they have a lot of confidence as well, and it can spill over into what goes on here.
And on the flip side, do you avoid maybe sending your top prospect pitchers to AAA?
No, I wouldn't say I'd avoid it. And we could see some guys very soon in Reno, some of our pitchers. I'm not afraid to do it. I just think Mobile is a good place. They're young. All the guys that we're talking about, 20 years old. You know, Brewer's the oldest one. He's 24. I don't think it hurts them to get a few starts, a month under their belt, get up and run and have some confidence, and then move them on their way.
A little chopper hugging the line. There is a base hit in front of Chipper Jones. A couple of runners on now with 2 outs.
Well, you certainly take that if you're Paul Goldschmidt. He got a really good pitch as far as pitcher's pitch is. A good slider down and away, and just by finding a way to get the bat on the ball, you give yourself a chance. You swing and miss that, the inning's over, you're grabbing your glove. But just by putting in play, you give yourself a chance, and sure enough, an infield hit. Now you give Jason Kubel, who homered his first time up, an opportunity with a couple of guys on base.
Kubel, as you mentioned, homered last time up. Pops that one foul. If you had to go get a catcher to come help out this organization, if something did happen, who would you go get?
I think Conrad Schmidt's that guy
Sure,
right now.
He's been here before.
Yeah, he's a tough guy. I think he brings something to every team he's on. He can handle. I think he's trying to do a little bit too much offensively, but he's catching well. He's throwing well. I think he would do fine here, and he might even add something. He's just a tough guy. Again, another guy that wins, wants to win, and he's a great teammate.
There are the big league catchers. You remember Schmidt up a couple of years ago, Gracie.
Absolutely. With the Fu Manchu.
He's kind of what do you call guys like that? He's an earth mover.
He's an earth mover. Absolutely. He's got a lantern on his forehead. I love guys like that behind the plate.
The 1-1 to Kubel. Breaking ball is inside, and a brief scouting report on Albaladejo. My first question is, am I saying his name right?
Albaladejo.
All right, good.
It took me a couple months, but I think I got it now.
That's a lot of syllables.
That's right. He's a guy. He had 43 saves in Scranton 2 years ago. Went to Japan, did fine there, and he came back. And we've used him late in games in Reno. We've also stretched him out a little bit in case the need arises here where we need some innings. He's very versatile. He's got good command, fastball, slider type guy, changeup, but he does have command of all his pitches, and he can give you some innings.
Thanks for the insight, Mike Bell.
Thank you.
Really
Thanks for having me there.
Good to see you, Mike.
Thanks, Gracie.
All right. 3-1, home run, F963.
Leading off for Atlanta, shortstop Jack Wilson.
Welcome back to Diamondbacks baseball. After 3 innings of play, the Braves leading the Arizona Diamondbacks 3-2. Chuck Powell here on the sidelines. And prior to the game, I watched Stephen Drew, the shortstop for the Diamondbacks, currently on the disabled list, working out. Anybody who saw the gruesome injury last year left that game thinking, when is this guy ever going to be healthy and ready to play again? Well, to watch him work out, no limp, no favoring. He was going at full speed. You thought you were watching a healthy baseball player out on the diamond. Well, it turns out Kirk Gibson's not as encouraged as it looked. He said the workout was awesome, but although Stephen Drew is closer to returning, he's still not close, and he still needs to get over that mental hurdle of sliding without fear of being injured. Darren, back to you.
Good stuff, Chuck. Thank you for following that story. Meantime, a nice player in the position does a nice job behind Willie Bloomquist with Drew looking on. I think what we're seeing, and that's what Chuck is talking about, we're seeing the very early stages of spring training. And that's essentially what it is. It's a 6-week process from now forward.
Yeah, and I really wouldn't expect Steven before June 1st at the earliest, and because the last thing they're going to do is rush this kid. I mean, that would be insane to rush him up there. His foot will let him know when he's ready, and he's still at the stage where he has good days and bad days. Well, you're not going to come to the big leagues and play, and they're not going to bring him back till he's ready to play every day. And
at shortstop in the major league,
at a premium position, as far as where your range is so important. You know, and maybe someday he may have to move to third base. He may have to move to second base.
Swing and a miss over the top of that one, and Hansen goes down on strikes.
Stephen Drew will tell you, he's a shortstop, and yes, he is, and he is a darn fine. He's a terrific shortstop, or at least he was until this injury. And Chuck said it, this gruesome injury he had. But Willie Bloomquist and John McDonald, they've got the job until Stephen is back healthy at 100%, if ever he can be 100% again.
With Stephen Drew playing up until July the 20th last year, and then Bloomquist and McDonald, as you see him there, finishing the rest of the year, Arizona overall at the shortstop position, if you include fielding percentage, errors committed, some of the secondary numbers, some zone ratings and such, but if you put it all together, Arizona still was a top 5 shortstop defensive position a year ago. Defensive. Now we don't want to say that Bloomquist and McDonald are Drew offensively. A little broken bat line drive into center field, and that's a base hit by Bourne, who's having a heck of a series. He's much more fun to look at as an opposing fan, Bourne, when he's
playing somebody else.
Yeah, or playing someone else.
Playing against the Dodgers. Martin Prado now, he's 2 for 2 with a couple of hard hit base hits.
But so to finish the thought, the Diamondbacks are trying to do what they did last year and stay defensively in the top 5 at that position, just in reverse. They had Drew for the first part and then the other duo for the last. And if you have him at a guaranteed 100% after the All-Star break, maybe as Gracie said, Steven starts playing some in June. You have him at a guaranteed 100% after the All-Star break, you'll be all right. Not much later than that, though.
Then
you can't wait much later than that.
I was going to say, then you might as well just keep him out for the entire year and let him get a full year. But this is a big year for Steven. It's a free agent year. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. There's a mutual option. The Diamondbacks hold an option. Steven holds the option. The two of them could agree on the number. I think it's double-digit millions. I think $10 million. Trying to get the chop going. It's kind of a small and humble attempt. But you've got to think that Stephen Drew wants to. And logic tells you, if he plays a half a season 100% healthy, he'll go do what he wants to do with regard to free agency. It's a premium position. Huge jump by Bourne. Throw down. Got him!
Amazing throw by Miguel Montero. Number one doesn't think so, but I think he'll realize is when he sees the replay, he was out because of a throw like that from Miguel Montero.
It's his walk here, too, by the way. Join us later on in the telecast. It will be Miller time, brought to you by our good friends and partners with the Miller Brewing Company. Stay tuned later on in the telecast. Diamondbacks catchers as a group, again, doing a fabulous job, and that means Miguel Montero. 6 stolen bases against, 5 thrown out. I mean, nearly to 50%. He led the league in throwing last year. What a dramatic turnaround from the years in which he was buried behind Chris Snyder trying to find his way. Chopper, and it's a foul ball.
All due respect, Miguel Montero is now one of the top catchers in the game.
Right now, Yadier Molina's Cardinals, the only bunch that's better than the Diamondbacks and Montero. Yadier's allowed 1 stolen base this year and thrown out 4. Inside corner, Hill goes down on strikes. Now, the obvious part about that discussion, and it's obvious, but to a casual fan maybe joining us on a Saturday night, it doesn't happen for Molina or Montero without a ton of help from the pitchers. A ton of help.
And Kirk Gibson has made it mandatory for pitchers to give their catchers a chance. One of the things that Kirk Gibson worries about, I think, even in his sleep, is the opponent's running game. It is imperative. If you're going to pitch for the Arizona Diamondbacks, you're going to have to know how to shut down the opponent's running game.
And Gibson and his coaching staff, they do a nice job, as you would hope a good coaching staff does, and I'm sure Mike Matheny, the new manager of the Cardinals, does as well. You can't take a square peg and put it into a round hole. As Roberts takes a curveball that's high. In other words, if you don't have quick feet, you're not a big-time athlete, okay, then vary your moves.
Right.
Change things up. We're not going to make you into something you're not. We understand that. But you still, as Roberts to the right side, Hayward comes on down and he makes the play for the out. I think we talk about this so much because Gibson, it's just one of his mantras to stop the running game over and over again. But there's a million ways to do it for a pitcher, right?
Well, there's, especially for a guy like Joe Saunders, there's no reason in the world, Darren, why as a left-handed pitcher you shouldn't be able to hold runners on well. You're looking right at the runner when you're in your stretch, and you should be able to develop some kind of a pickoff move to keep runners honest. It's obviously much more difficult for a right-handed pitcher. You would know that. You were a right-handed pitcher. But because your back is to the runner, And it's a whole different type of footwork, stepping off the mound and whatnot. But if you can get it to your catcher just a little bit quicker, you'll find yourself pitching more innings because your catcher's going to throw out would-be base stealers.
In other words, don't have a high leg kick coming home.
Right. It's only going to behoove you as the pitcher and the team.
Breaking ball, ground ball. Bazooka Joe with a pretty nice swing there. Not bad at all. Miguel Montero getting some help from Bazooka Joe and throwing out opposing base runners. This has turned into a strong point for the Diamondbacks. 2 years ago, it was one of the weakest points.
Lead 3-2. And folks, if you haven't experienced the Diamondbacks ball game from a dugout suite, well, you're missing out on one of the best seats in the house. The dugout suite is located right next to the player's dugout. I mean, right there. And it offers an unparalleled view of the on-field action. The suite includes in-seat food and seat-side flat panel TVs. That's big league. There's still dates available for this suite, so call 602-462-4600 or log on to dbacks.com/suites. Oh, damn, we got to do a game from down there.
Well, you took the words right out of my mouth. I would imagine that will be coming up soon, hopefully on the next homestand. Calling a game down from those dugout suites.
Yeah, I mean, that's right there.
It was a great view, by the way, as you were speaking, from the Arizona Baseball Club, the ABC Club, open to all fans to enjoy a meal up there in right field. Fabulous food. Breaking ball, and it's a strike. And a unique perspective, to say the least. What a great way to enjoy a ball game out there in right field. To the right side, it's a long run for Justin Upton. And he will watch that one bounce into the seats. Prado, couple of singles tonight. A run scored, and he drove in a run. Hey, good stuff, by the way. Again, thanks to Mike Bell for stopping by, the Diamondbacks Director of Player Development. Atlanta with single runs in the first, second, and third. Arizona with single runs in the first and second. Broke his bat. To the backstop that goes. It's a fly ball to left.
Both starting pitchers really starting to settle in and find their rhythm now.
First baseman Freddie.
CenturyLink high-speed internet, high-speed pitch. 91 for Tommy Hanson. And 92 for Joe Saunders. Oh boy, say they got some great snacks and along the buffet. Oh, look at that. We need to do a game from up there.
I think it's not a bad idea. Throw some biscuits and gravy in there. That game over for Grace.
How about some ribs?
That looks like ribs. Yeah, beautiful looking ribs. There's that fastball into Freddie Freeman again. And he's giving Freddie fits in there.
They just stay in there. And it looks good to Freeman. I mean, he took that pitch, but it really looks good to him, so he just stays on it. Out over the plate. High fly ball in center field. The ball is too high. The pitch was too high in the zone. I think if he uses that classic inside out or center field swing, he could hit it out, but he tried to pull that one a little bit.
Yeah, he got a lot of it, but he hit it a little bit too, just a fraction underneath it. Well, that would have been another home run for the big fella. I mean, he's there. Just a fraction underneath it.
Pitches up and away to Brian McCann. McCann speaking with some humble confidence about his collection of teammates this year. Bouncing ball. Goldschmidt plays it back. Joe gets over there. Wouldn't you know, Joe is ready on the bag and in time for the out. Paul ended up in shallow right field, but Kirk Gibson also mandates that his pitchers field their position as well. And his Braves lead it by a score of 3-2 as we welcome you back to Chase Field, our Nissan text poll. Do you think Chipper Jones is not a Hall of Famer, but do you think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer? A for yes, B for no. 36929. 36929 as Willie Bloomquist pops it up to right field.
And shame on Hall of Fame voters who keep guys off the Hall of Fame because they don't want him to be a quote-unquote first ballot. In my opinion, if you're a Hall of Famer, you're a Hall of Famer. What makes you good 4 years from now? Or what makes you better? And if you're not, you're not. There's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, my father had to wait 5 years for his vote, 324 victories.
Yeah, so that's not so 325 victories is not a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Longevity
that's asinine.
Longevity was his punishment. He was deemed a guy who didn't dominate and just played for a long, long time.
Well, 325 wins sounds like domination to me.
The 0-1 to Parra. Breaking ball is inside. Well, folks, do you want our answer on the man at third? I say yes, he is.
Me too.
And to use Gracie's logic, he's a Hall of Famer, so just put him in the first time.
Big swing.
Mickey Mantle, and then Chipper Jones. Mickey with a lot of big numbers. Eddie Murray. Tim Raines, one of the great switch hitters of all time as well. Chili Davis. But Chipper up there in Mickey Mantle territory.
Mm-hmm.
And Eddie Murray territory. Up.
Well, he's not quite in Eddie territory, is he?
Not total hits. It's interesting, too. And Chipper spoke with us yesterday, a conversation you'll hear more of tomorrow and in Atlanta. As Parra, he's been trying to hit a home and just hold it back. But the ballpark holds it. Chipper battled a lot of injuries that has cost him a bunch of games throughout his career. He said, I certainly realize if I had been healthy my entire career and raced right by Mickey Mantle and Eddie Murray in certain categories, I would have had to answer a lot of the same questions that Alex Rodriguez has had to answer. He said it's an era where I will be questioned. He goes, it's a shame, but it is what it is. I wish it wasn't the case. But steroids were a big part of this era. Little number. Just got it. Just in time. 7 in a row set down by Hansen. Slugging a baseball down. I mean, going down and getting a changeup. And in his toolbox, Dan Uggla, he's looked down and he hasn't always had his glove, but he's always had his power.
Had a long hitting streak last year after getting off to a miserable start. But one of the real good guys in the game as well. And, well, he's been a bad guy so far in this game. His homer's the difference right now as both starters starting to settle in nicely.
Pitch is high and away. 1-0 the count. Since that long ball that we showed you, only one runner has reached base. It was Bourne, and he was promptly thrown out trying to steal. Good breaking ball. 1-1 the count.
Good fastball there. 1-2.
Welcome. We're glad to have you, and we hope you're here for many more.
Well, he's brand new, isn't he?
2-2 the count. There's another youngster to the right there, kind of hiding in the corner. A lot of beautiful youngsters here tonight. Ugla has Hill on his fanny. He hops back up and makes the play and throws in time for the out.
Third baseman Chipper Jones.
Nice play there by Aaron Hill. Ball eats him up, but he stays right with it and makes a play. All outs are big now. You're trailing by one, and it's starting to get late. Atlanta has a great bullpen. So Joe Saunders and the Diamondbacks have to keep it at a one-run game.
Chipper Jones was walked back in the first inning with the bases loaded. There was an error in that inning as well. Bouncing ball to short. Really on across, and he guns down a man who was once a young up-and-coming shortstop himself in Chipper Jones. It's funny, for as much as you think you know where you're headed in life, don't ever try and truly figure it out as a young athlete or whatever you do in life. Jones, you remember how highly touted as a shortstop he was.
Sure.
49 games at short in the major leagues.
That's all it was.
He gave up his position
A
at
bad
third.
knee injury stopped his progress as a shortstop. He became, well, one of the best third basemen of all time.
And then when players were brought in, an aging Vinny Castilla, Jones, as that one is knocked down, in time for the out to get Hayward. A 9-pitch inning for Joe Saunders. Well, they are settling in, like they're settled in. Crowd hasn't gone to their heads. They realize that they have to continue to work and grind through injuries. Kirk Gibson knows it, and his ace knows it as well. Our trivia question, brought to you by AT&T. Who has won the most National League Cy Young Awards since 1990? National League Cy Young Awards since 1990. Randy won a bunch of them.
That would have been my answer.
Greg Maddux won a bunch of them.
Yeah.
That's the answer. Both of them, I guess. Is that correct, guys? All right, 1-0 the count. Well, thanks for playing with us. Inside, 2-0 the count on Montero.
Yeah, they're trying to stay right in on the belly button of Miguel Montero, trying to try to keep him from getting his arms extended and driving it out of here. In a one-run game, every pitch is huge.
Pulls a pitch up and away. And in time for the out. A unique night, too, when you actually have Greg Maddux. You saw him here a moment ago. He's here in the building. Maddox with 4 and Randy Johnson with 4. What a treat to have him here.
It's always good to see my former teammate, Greg Maddox.
There he is.
Yeah, good to see Greg. Still looks good.
Yeah, since he's retired, he's able to probably loosen the belt on the diet. I know you guys are so disciplined when you played.
Of course.
Well, that looks good. Here's Paul Goldschmidt, and he takes a pitch up and away. 1-0 the count. Yeah, got the corner. Got the corner, so 0-1.
Oh, what a career he had. It's good to see him.
One ball and 1 strike the count.
I can see him keep his fingers out of his mouth. But yeah, when you're going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, you can do that.
Two and 1. Arizona has scored 2 runs or fewer in 3 consecutive home games. The club record was back in 05 when they went 3 straight games. They hit it home.
3
and 1. The breaking ball, nice take. Kubel waits on deck. Yeah, he's coming off that 7-pitch inning, which really helps.
Oh, Joe West says not so fast, and Paul Goldschmidt has to stick around. This pitch looked like it could have been outside. Let's see what Joe saw. Yeah, it's a pitcher's pitch right there, isn't it?
Certainly is. As the 3-2
Same
right back
spot.
out there. That's strike 3.
That's 2 fabulous pitches by Tommy Hanson. I mean, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? My goodness.
He literally hit the same catcher's mitt in the same spot twice. And if you're
Sure did.
Joe West, you can not call it strike 3 the second time he does it. You have to call it strike 3. Kubel looks at a good curveball that's low. 1-0 the count. Paul doesn't do a whole lot of arguing. We rarely, if ever, have seen him show much emotion at all on the field. That one low.
Back breaking balls. 2-0.
If you missed it, Kubel with a home run in the second inning as he drove it out of here to left field. A row or 2 over the wall out there. His first as a Diamondback.
Got him to chase one out of the zone. 2-0.
Nope. 3-1 the count.
Good slider there. 3-1. Hanson on his game now ever since that home run by Kubel back in the second inning. I mean, there has been nothing.
Has he thrown a changeup? It's been
Not many.
fastball,
If he
slider,
has.
curveball,
Yeah,
pretty much,
I
right?
haven't seen many changeups. But he has been very good since the Kubel home run back in the second inning.
Hard ground ball right there to the midsection of Uggla. Well, that is 10 in a row sat down. He is on a roll.
fear comes great responsibility.
Back at the ball yard on a gorgeous evening. No longer do we deal as it turns to nighttime with the triple digits, the high 90s. It's beautiful, beautiful here at the ballpark. And Saunders, that's a pretty pitch on the ground. One pitch, one out. 30,188 in attendance tonight, and a bunch of Little Leaguers again. Arrowhead Little League, Chandler American Little League, Dewey Humboldt Little League is here. The Gilbert American Little League visits. Love going out to Red Mountain for any sort of athletics. The Red Mountain American Little League is here. White Tanks Little League and the Shaw Butte Little League. So all the Little Leaguers here tonight. Reach out to those with the Diamondbacks group sales. If you're interested, visit them online. dbacks.com/youth. A lot of Little Leaguers, a lot of fun. I love seeing the youngsters at the park. And, of course, Super Mario is here tonight. Glad to have him at the ballpark as well. Back to the screen it goes. It's getting late, Mark Grace.
Yeah, I was going to say, Joe Saunders, another guy that's just on a roll right now. Him and Hansen, who's in the box against him right now. Just on a roll. Another easy ground ball somewhere. 2 quick outs.
You saw Roberts keep those feet moving again. That's what Matt Williams was working with him with the other day. And instead of a shoe top high throw, which he had been doing a lot, that was more of a belt high throw. I'm told that a couple of food groups have visited here tonight as well.
I love the banana costume. I do.
Way in at third is Roberts on the grass. Bourne takes high, 1-0. Goldschmidt does not come in quite as far. Just off the plate. 2-0 the count to Bourne. Single twice, scored a run, caught stealing in the 4th.
There's a fast strike, 2-1. Well, Joe just looks really comfortable with himself in his own skin this year, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
His body language is so under control. Like, I got this. I got this. Last year, sometimes there was some doubt, it looked like, in his body language, especially early in the year.
Spring training, you could notice that. Early part of the season, as you mentioned. Doubt's the perfect word because he, I think, was wrought with it and then just shook it free. He, heading into spring, has taken better care of himself this year than he ever had. That's right down the middle. That's strike 3.
All right. Somebody's got to take care of him, huh, Darren? Somebody on the offensive side of the ball.
Absolutely. He needs some runs. How about a rally banana?
Yeah.
Jody Jackson and Joe Borowski. And we're on the move today just above Uptown in right field at the Arizona Baseball Club, a great place for food and beverage here at Chase Field. And Joe, you know what? This game early on looked like what might be a high-scoring affair, but both pitchers have really settled in nicely, haven't they?
Well, Tommy Hanson of the Braves has really pitched a very good game. And Joe Saunders, although he battled early, has really settled in nicely. I'll break down his outing and show you exactly how his game plan worked very well against his great hitting Braves offense.
All right, we're on our way over to the Diamond Club for the post-game show, guys. Back to you.
Looking forward to that. The forward tee strikes again. We will see some of the tricks of the trade as Joe Borowski saw him. Our APS Energy All-Stars, they both are. Hanson fabulous. Saunders really strong tonight. It's been a classic pitcher's duel. Fastball on the corner.
He's really getting that outside corner now. Joe West starting to get conditioned to that outside corner. And Tommy Hanson continues to pour it right where he needs to, within an inch of that outside corner. And when you consistently do that, an umpire is going to give it to you.
That's your key. That's your key, is hitting it over and over. Breaking ball. What a good idea. Curveball out of the same line of sight.
Right.
And if you get Hill trying to protect, he would have missed that one. Nice job by Aaron picking it up.
Somebody offensively has got to pick up the slack for Joe Saunders.
Outside.
And both starters semi-struggled out of the gate. But boy, have they settled in, found a perfect rhythm, both of them. And it's just been easy going. I would imagine Joe's probably done for the night, even though his pitch count's down. His spot is due up third in this inning.
Got him with the breaking ball down and away. Look, the Braves are proud of what they have now. Had to make a tough decision a few years back, and the Diamondbacks may be doing that in the near future. Chuck, let's bring you back in. What do you have for us?
Yeah, guys, really interesting. I know a lot of people, we talked about Bauer and Skaggs and Corbin earlier. The Christmas presents under the tree, they're pretty, they looked wrapped, they looked ready to go. Problem is, it's November 15th. Well, once upon a time, Tommy Hanson could have related to this saga. He was a top 10 prospect in baseball back in 2009, and it wasn't a matter of when he was, or if he was going to get called up, but when. Well, on June 7th, 2009, he got called up to the major leagues. Here's what made it more difficult than even the Diamondbacks situation. The guy that they moved to make room for Tommy Hanson, they had to cut Tom Glavine. A future Hall of Famer, cut him, and obviously an Atlanta Braves legend. So a difficult decision back in 2009, but Hanson's been in the majors ever since.
Yeah, he's proved it right tonight. Thank you, Chuck, for that. And they have gone with young pitching. Boy, he brings up a great story and a great tie-in. Whether or not you make a tough choice, if Josh Colmentor would have struggled with a Josh Colmentor, you still have to say goodbye. And if you're Kirk Gibson, to someone you want to try to stay loyal to. But youth pushes it on.
Exactly. But, you know, nobody's in the Tom Glavine shoes right now in that dugout. A future Hall of Famer in their late 30s, on the decline.
Fly ball right field. Boy, strong inning. Strikeout, then a fly out.
Well, it's since the third inning, it's been nothing but easy outs for both Joe Saunders and for Tommy Hanson. Problem is, Tommy Hanson's got the lead. The Diamondbacks are down to their last 7 outs. Is A.J. Pollock going to come in, see if he can get that first major league base hit?
Pollock replaced Jeff Blum on the roster a couple of days back. Breaking ball, and it's strike one. How about the night for Joe Saunders? He finished it facing the minimum the last 14 batters he faced. The minimum. Had one hit, and it was Michael Bourne, and he was caught stealing in that time. Inside. Hanson is now at 12 in a row sat down. It will be Brian Shaw in all likelihood that will come on. He's warming in the bullpen. Didn't mean to. Little chopper. McCann will let it die. Fires in time for the out. The fabulous outing for both pitchers continue, but it's Hansen and the Braves that lead it by a score of 3-2. Mark Gray, Darren Sutton, glad to have you back. And our Geico quote of the contest. It comes from Paul Goldschmidt. It's tough for those guys being down for a couple of days, talking about Upton and Young. But you really don't have another choice. You go out there like we did last year, like we'll do this year, we'll play as a team. Which, logically, it's said by Paul Goldschmidt, but that's not the practice that was undertaken and hasn't been undertaken by the Diamondbacks. A lot of the younger players especially, and even guys that are younger to the major leagues like Ryan Roberts, only been here a couple of years, they have been trying to do too much.
No, they're trying to do it all themselves. All he can do is be the best first baseman he can possibly be. All he can do is be the best left fielder, shortstop. You can't try to do 9 men's job. You have to do your job and just do it well. And if everybody falls into line, well, then it works out pretty well. But once you start trying to be the third baseman and the second baseman and the center fielder and the pitcher, well, that's when you find yourself playing somewhere else.
Good cut fastball misses away. You can see the first batter efficiency. Fabulous job out of the gates, getting the first batters that he faces. Cutter again, down off the end of the bat. One and two the count. As a cut fastball again, charging and making the play. Off balance throw and in time for the out. Aaron Hill, a nice job. Prado is done. You know what? We love Conchico around here. We love playing it. Learn how you can play right here at Chase Field. Go to the interactive kiosk near section 111 during regular season home games. It's a blast. It'll really change your way of having fun. Gila River Casinos. We love Conchico. Brian Shaw, this is his time. No one warming up in the bullpen.
I'm sure he's going to give Freddie Freeman another dose of fastballs in. Missed down with that one, 1-0.
By the way, Joe Saunders, need to close the book on that. One of the runs was unearned. Joe's ERA in the season, 1.29.
Yeah, another terrific start here tonight. You just hope somehow, some way, his teammates can find a way to get him off the hook.
Watching them battle Freddie Freeman. Trying to stay in on the slugger. Puts that one on the ground.
Once again, ate him up with a fastball in. Well, if you're hitting the road this season, take the Diamondbacks with you. Subscribe to MLB.tv today to see every Diamondbacks game out of market. Live online and on your favorite devices in HD quality. Visit dbacks.com to order. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere. Well, why not?
Local, and when I say local, not here in Arizona, but a Braves fan for life as a young man. Duluth, Georgia, not far from the ballpark where he earns his living. Duluth High School, graduated in '02. That one, an attempt, what looked to be maybe a two-seam fastball or a changeup, just something different. Dad was a college baseball coach at Marshall University and at the University of Georgia on the staff.
Good pitch there. Didn't get the call.
2-1 the count. Brings the cut fastball inside, has him jackknife out of the way.
It was hit hard, but the only reason it was pulled foul is because the pitch was in a perfect spot, right on the inside corner. And for McCann to hit that ball in the barrel of the bat, just so difficult to keep fair. Watch where this ball goes, just to the inside corner, and all you're going to do is pull that foul, huh, Darren?
Can't keep it fair. You mentioned drew the hands in, but can't do anything with it. They play him to pull in the infield and in the outfield. That was a 3-2 breaking ball.
Yeah, for some reason. Now you bring up a very dangerous Dan Uggla. His home run's the difference in this ball game. That was all the way back in the third inning. But his starting pitcher, Tommy Hanson, has made it stand up.
Got to wonder why he said yes to that sign. If I'm standing out there with a cut fastball that no one's doing anything with, I laugh when Miguel Montero calls for a breaking ball.
Do you think he might have shook to it?
Maybe he did. Such a good cut fastball, such a weapon. There it is. Well, he's not getting the corners, though. That same pitch for Hanson's been a strike all night long. This pitch right here, that's been a strike for Hanson. Bouncing ball went back to the cut fastball, just right down the middle.
If you're not going to give me the corners, I'll go to the middle and get you out. Nicely done by Brian Shaw.
Text poll, which reads in this 3-2 Braves lead. You think Chipper Jones is a first ballot Hall of Famer? 92% of you think yes, that'll get him in. You need 75% of the vote. So if you're one of the baseball writers out there and you voted, you will help him. 75% will get you in. He's at 92%. Johnny Venters now comes on.
Hard throwing left-hander with a lot of movement. A lot of dive on his fastball. One tough customer, as you can see.
0-1 the count to Willie Bloomquist. Willie 0 for 3 tonight. 9 strikeouts, 4 walks, and 5 2/3, which means you got to wait him out a little bit. But he's thrown a strike to even it up. 1-1 the count. Notice that number there. He has not gotten a first batter yet this year.
That's truly incredible when you got the talent of this left-hander.
Willie swings over the top of a sinking fastball.
When was the last time, Darren, you saw a batter swing at a fastball in the dirt?
I can't think that I have
there
in
you
a
go.
while.
That's the kind of stuff Venters brings to the mound. That was not a changeup or a split finger. That was a fastball in the dirt. And a full swing, not a check swing, a full swing. Amazing.
That was a breaking ball. He did go around. Willie Bloomquist is 0 for 4 tonight. He struck out 13 times this season. A tough night for the Arizona shortstop.
Let's get a look at a side swing. Looked like he just went far enough to get rung up.
David or JJ, we'll see. Swing and a miss. That's a fastball at 92.
Parra really pulling off that one.
They're done in Houston, Texas. The Dodgers won again. They beat the Astros 5-1. Matt Kemp homered again.
My gosh.
He's got 9 home runs. 0-2 the count. Good breaking ball.
Slider there. No chance for Parra. That front hip really flying open. Just try and stay back and see if you can flip him to left field. Did he go that time? No, says Rob Drake.
So we'll do it again. 1-2 the count. Parra goes down on strikes. Justin Upton, what have you seen in his approach thus far tonight? We do understand he's favoring that thumb. What have you seen?
Well, whatever he's doing it quickly. He's swinging early. He's had a double and a ground out on the first pitch of the at-bat. So right now I think he's probably a little over-aggressive, probably trying to hit, get 5 hits in one at-bat, which is understandable. Let's see if he can just put a smooth swing on something and go from there.
Quickly 0-2.
2 fastballs right down the middle, and Justin took them both.
Stunning number for Venters. In 170 career appearances in the major leagues, he's given up 3 home runs. One and two the count on Justin Upton, who it was a question before the game today whether he would be in the starting lineup at all. Maybe available to pinch run. Conversations of those around the team. Maybe they decide to put him on the DL today. Well, he's in the lineup. And he chases down and away, threw him an off-speed pitch. Upton is done. Venters strikes out the side.
the ninth inning with the Braves leading 3-2. But your closer, you can get his bobblehead in a set of the first set of the 5 this season. Be here on Saturday, May 26th, before the Diamondbacks and Brewers 7:10 p.m. game. And the first 20,000 fans are going to get a J.J. Putz bobblehead. J.J. Putz bobblehead. Call 602-514-8400. Visit dbacks.com/tickets. I want one. I want one.
I'm sure you can have one. Take care of that during that weekend with the Brewers in town. Chipper
Saturday,
Jones
May 26th.
to lead it off against David Hernandez. David on for the 8th time this year. Thanks for joining us this evening, folks. And Jones takes a pitch that darts over the outside, a two-seam fastball. 0-1 the count. David this year has thrown more secondary pitches than he threw a season ago. There's what we're talking about, 0-2 the count.
That was a beauty right there.
Nice job, Miguel Montero, blocking that one up.
And a good job of bouncing the 0-2 breaking ball there. No sense leaving it in the strike zone for him to hit. See if he can chase it out of the zone 0-2.
One and two the count on Chipper Jones. Breaking ball, awkward swing. That's strike 3. Our Chaz Roberts air conditioning cool play of the game. Michael Bourne's one of the best, but then again, so is Miguel Montero. Right on top of the bag. He is throwing out nearly 50% of those that have tried this year. Is our Chaz Roberts, I should say, cool play of the game. Getting hot out there. Have Chaz check out your air conditioner at home.
Gas. Right by him at the belt.
10-game hitting streak hanging in the balance. Matching his career high at 10. He would stand alone with a hit here. Love the David Hernandez fastball. On 0-1. There's another one that's fouled back. That little dip to it, a two-seamer. Well, he's kind of brought the whole kitchen sink to the bump this year.
Well, he felt like, admittedly, he felt like his fastball was starting to get squared up a little too much, and he didn't like it. So he's decided he's going to throw a few more off-speed pitches here and there. So far, so good.
Fastball, and it's up. He'll throw two-seam, four-seam, so he'll sink it or throw it straight. Couple of different breaking balls. We've seen plenty of changeups as well from David. You saw Kimbrel is ready to go in the pen. Breaking ball fouled back. Gibson's squad looking to avoid their 5th consecutive loss, and that would be 5 in a row at home.
Oh, baby.
Outside corner, that's strike 3.
Another breaking ball, another strikeout.
Shortstop Jack Wilson.
Right at the bottom of the kneecaps. Heck of a pitch. Joe West rings it right up.
Former Pirate shortstop Jack Wilson takes strike 1. That's some good seasons in Pittsburgh. As a matter of fact, many of you might forget that Jack Wilson had a rare feat. He had a 200 hit season in 2004. Tough to do.
It's amazing.
Oh, boy, 0-2.
David Hernandez making it look pretty simple out there right now. Trying to get some kind of momentum for his offense. Another stagnant night offensively for the Arizona Diamondbacks.
David on 0-2. Got him! Put your rally caps on at home because right now the boys need them. Brought to you by Miller Lite. His first home run as a member of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Out of here, 2 rows the other way. Jason Kubel, he will hit in this inning. He waits. They will all go to work against a very tough right-handed pitcher. Since the start of last year, there's a lot of familiar names on the list of most saves in Major League Baseball. Kimbrel, 4 for 4 this year.
Gave up a run here last night, a little scratch run. He's going to go right through the meat of the order. But boy, this guy's got electric stuff, and he can strike them out in bunches.
Goes in the high 90s with the slider. Junior college product in the state of Alabama. I told you there were some familiar names there. Fastball just shoots to the outside corner. 0-1 the count to Miguel Montero. Little Rod Beck, the late Rod Beck with that arm dangling. Breaking ball, strike 2.
So Rod Beck would swing it.
Absolutely.
He just kind of stands there awkwardly, but what's awkward is trying to hit him.
Breaking ball, strike 3. 4 consecutive Diamondbacks struck out by the Braves bullpen.
He said he can strike them out in bunches, and right now, Diamondback offense is striking out in bunches.
Oh, and 1 to count on Goldschmidt. Paul tonight singled, also grounded back to the mound and struck out looking. Oh, and 2 the count. Into the dirt it goes. Goldschmidt doesn't offer it. That slider that bounces in there. Hanging around, back to the screen it goes. Came right after him.
That's just center cut. He got away with it.
The count is evened up. 9 career home runs for the young Goldschmidt. 3 of them certainly noteworthy because they have come against an elite pitcher. 3 of the 9 against Tim Lincecum. He would like to add a hard-throwing closer to that list. Instead, it's a breaking ball, and it's strike 3. 5 in a row struck out by the Atlanta Braves bullpen, Venters and Kimbrel.
Left fielder, Jason Kubel.
That's what we were saying about this Atlanta bullpen. They try to make it a short game. Their starters go 6, sometimes 7, and then hand it to Venters and Kimbrel. It's a pretty good recipe for success. Just ask these Diamondback hitters, especially the last 5.
Slider is inside. Kubel has only faced Venters once, and he walked him. Into the dirt, he didn't go. 2-0 the count. Arizona has made 18 straight outs, with 9 of them strikeouts.
Boy, he had a good pitch to hit there, and he took a good rip at it. He's just a little bit tardy. I mean, this is just, here it is. Let's play baseball. And boy, he had a good rip at it and fouled it back.
The 2-1. 2-2. Breaking ball. That is the ball game. The Diamondbacks have struggled mightily offensively in this series. The bullpen locks it down with 6 consecutive strikeouts. This is the 4th straight home game with the Diamondbacks with 2 or fewer runs, tying a franchise record. And Arizona has now lost 5 consecutive games at home, the longest home losing streak since a very forgettable season in the middle of the summer in 2010 and 2010. We got a lot to talk about in our post-game show. The Braves have won the series. The Diamondbacks are now below 500. Our post-game show is coming up after this break.
For tonight's game, for the Atlanta